This is my tutorial for my loose knit bracelet. So initially I had this one. This is the Tight Knit. And this one is 11 rows. And I do have a tutorial for that. You want to check out my YouTube page. But this is 11 rows. This one right here is 7 rows. And that is about the same width. Maybe a little bit bigger. It is a little bit chunkier. And this one, I don't know, it just looks so cool. Like the texture is really, really interesting. So this one is 7. This is 5 rows. 5, 3, 3, and 3. And these I actually did on the monster tail. So I'll probably do another tutorial just to show on the monster tail. But so this is 3 rows, and that's pretty wide. So this is the fun one to do, and they're really stretchy. So I'm going to show you how to make this one. So if you made my Tight Knit, this would be no problem, and really this won't be a problem at all if you haven't. So I'm just going to show you how to make this one. So let's get started. Okay, to get started, you need an adjustable loom. That's why I like rainbow loom. And you take the big base right here, and you're going to put the rows so that the little thing is facing you. The little opening is facing you. And you're going to put the 2 rows together. And I just put like a block one on the end. So I'm going to do a 5 row. And you're going to find wherever's comfortable for you to hold it. I like to hold it like this. So usually I start my bracelet like right here. So this would be my center one. And you're going to find the center, and you're going to double it up like that. And then this is if you're doing an odd number. If you're doing an even number, you're going to put it across 2 like that. So it'd be 4 pegs in there. And this is my other side, like that. So if you were going to do 6, you would just do 2, 2, and 2. If you were going to do 7, you'd have the center one, then 2 and 2, and then 2 and 2 on this side. You have to move this down a little bit, this thing. So this is the beginning part. So this is going to be the Tight Knit, how the Tight Knit bracelet's made. This is going to be the rows. Not making sense. I'm just going to show you. Okay. So you're going to go to the center one. So if you're doing an even number, just pick a center one that you're going to double up each one. So you're going to twist it and double it like that. And then each one after that is going to be single. Like that. So this is the same exact thing as how the Tight Knit is made. All rows would be like this. So you're going to go into the center band, the one that you doubled, and you're going to grab that one right there and pull it through and put it back on the pegs like that. Now you're going to go through the next one that you just did, grab that next one, and put it on there like that. Then you're going to turn and do the same thing. So you go in that center, grab the next band, and put it over onto the same pegs. Go under, and put it on like that. So, and you don't have to flip it around. I do. Sometimes I don't. Okay, so you're going to take the bottom bands and bring them over like that. So it's going to be over the 2. The center one just goes on itself. And then these 2 go on like that. Okay, so usually with my designs, I like to do a couple rows, a single color before I start the pattern. If you start the pattern right off the bat, then it gets like a little jumbled because it's not exactly straight. So I'm going to do 2 more rows just like we did. So you're going to double that center one and put singles on here. You're going to go inside that double, grab the next one, inside, grab that one. So you can go like this and pull it this way, or if you want to turn it, I'll keep it this way just because it's easier to keep the focus on there. Okay, so now you're just going to bring all the bottom ones up over the top. Oops. So if you're making the tight knit bracelet, this is all it is. Just the same thing, same row each time. So I'm going to do one more just like that. Double it. A lot of times I like to use the clear bands for this, the tight rows, just because it makes the pattern, I don't know, I think I like the clear just because it doesn't stand out as much. But I know for the tutorials it's hard to see it if I use clear. Okay, so bring all those up over here. I do like to use in the very beginning for the bracelet, I use silicone bands for the ones that hold on to for the cap bands. Because I always feel like when I'm taking them on and off the C-clips that it like messes up the band, so I like silicone seem to be a little bit stronger. And that way, if you use the whole thing silicone, it gets expensive, number one, and it gets a little bit rough or like harder to do. So I like to use regular bands, but then I like to use the silicone for the endings. Okay, so now we're ready to start a loose row. So you have tight row, loose row, tight row, loose row. And I think I will do, so you're going to take 2 bands. So I'm going to do a V shape. I think. I always go back and forth what I want to do. The patterns are always the hardest to come up with. If it's just the rows, it's easy. Okay, so I'm going to do V shape. So you're putting 2 bands on each of these. Okay, these guys want to stay together, so we'll keep them together. Okay, so you have that tight row first, and now this is going to be the loose row. This is so easy. So that's all you have to do. Just bring this over the top. This one goes much faster than the tight knit. Probably use a little bit less bands. These do use a lot of bands. Okay, so that was a loose row, so now you're going to do a tight row. So do the same thing as before. Double, single, so go inside, so you just bring the bottom rows over the top. This one's very easy, and it goes very fast. Well, faster for sure than the tight knit. The tight knit is probably my favorite design that I've done, just because there's so much you can do with it. Okay, so we have the tight row, so now we're going to do the loose row. So be careful of your pattern, just pay attention. Sometimes it's good to do like a graph paper and make your design on there, so it just kind of gives you an idea. So I'm doing the V shape, so let's go. Do the orange in the middle. So maybe if you start out, just do rows. just to get the hang of it. Okay, so that's all you're going to do. Just repeat. Tight row, loose row, tight row, loose row. When you get to the end, you're going to want to do however many rows you did tight in the beginning. Or I did 3 tight rows in a row. Do the same thing. And then you're going to close it off, and I'll show you how to do that. So it will come through here. And maybe I'll show you like halfway through. Okay, so I finished about 7 rows of the loose rows. So very gently pull that through. And that's what's going to start looking like. I like the black with these colors. It makes it stand out more. Usually I do clear. Like I said, I like clear better usually for the tight rows. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to show you how to finish this off. So I'm going to go to the length I want, and I'm going to do 3 rows to end it of the tight knit. So it's going to be the tight rows. So do 3 rows of that, and then I'll show you how to close it off. Okay, so I finished the bracelet up to the 3rd tight row. So I have 3 of the tight knit rows here. Then I have the bracelet. Then I did 3 tight knit at the very end. So now to close it up. Now with the tight knit, I usually bring in and I double up some of the sides because it ends up flaring out too much. But this one doesn't. It seems to just go wider, so it's okay. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so you're just going to put single bands on each of these. Like I said, I like to use the silicone. I feel like they're stronger. I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's all in my head. I don't know. I just like them. So you're just going to bring the bottom rows over, just like we were before. And then you're going to bring them over to the sides. So if you're a righty, bring them to the right. If you're a lefty, bring them to the left. Same thing when you're setting up the loom. Sometimes it's easier to have these on this side. Just whatever feels comfortable in your hand. Okay, so you're going to put C-clips on each of these. And then we'll look at the finished product. So here is the finished bracelet. I think it came out really pretty. And I do like this with the black because it makes those colors really pop more. They're like highlighter colors. Very pretty. So, like these 2 are done with white as the tight knit. And this one, these were all clear. These are made with jellies. I love how the jellies look with it. And I don't know if you can tell on this one, because there's 2, like each one, when I went up to the next color, I did 1 of each color, and then so it kind of flowed into each other. That was really pretty. I tried it with solid colors, like instead of the jellies, and it didn't look near as pretty. So, and I did try, instead of doing 2 bands, I did 1 band, and that gives another look. Gives it kind of like a frilly look. So if you want to try that. So instead of doing 2 bands for the loose knit part, you just do 1. So I tried a different variation of colors. This is what I do when I'm trying to come up with a pattern, color pattern. So there's that one. So there you go. The loose knit bracelet. Thanks for watching. So I went back and I watched the video, and I realized that when I showed you how to do a 7-row setup, I said it wrong. So I wanted to show you how to do it. For the 7-row, the 3 in the center are going to be just by themselves with a figure 8. And then the 2 on the end are going to be doubled up like that. So that is how you do that one. Sorry about that.